Well, it is the 9th of February and around the world florists are getting in a flat spin because in 5 days time it's Valentine's Day, and even I, who don't do much, and I used to do a lot of Valentine's, I now do rather less, even I am in a slight flat spin. So I'm up here in the field cutting a lot of foliage because I've had loads of flowers delivered from my lovely Cornish colleagues, and I'm going to be making beautiful bouquets for the weekend. I like to get my Valentines in early with all this lovely stuff, but I've got to cut all this foliage. And I thought while I was here, we would talk about time management. Now, I know that when people like me share the pictures of their lives on Instagram and so on, being a farmer florist can look like we're really living the dream. We're not very far from the helicopter. We're not very far from Yeovilton, where the Fleet Air Arm have their base, and so we're always being flown over. So I'm sorry about the noise, and I'm sorry I still don't have a microphone, but my brain is handling this, and we will soon have a microphone. And I may also go mad because, thank you very much, we've now reached 5,000 subscribers. So thank you for that, everybody. I think we might go mad and have some captions, subtitles, because I know that I have some subscribers who sometimes struggle with hearing, but I also know that some of you are from America and Australia and Canada, and you find my old-fashioned English accent sometimes challenging, and I understand that. It's a weird old way of speaking. So I think it's important that we make this channel available for everybody. So hopefully we'll soon be having some captions, and the microphone, I have it, I just can't make it work. But that's because I'm technically stupid, because I'm 54 years old. I'm not a digital native. So it will happen. Anyway, time management. So I think, first of all, what you have to do is you have to count the number of bouquets and posies that you plan to make. And then you have to know how many stems are going to go into each bouquet and posy. So the first thing I did this morning was get the weekend's orders out and look at them. Quick calculation. Then I know that the amount I've ordered up from my Cornish colleagues season doesn't start here, but the Cornish keep going through the winter. So quick calculation, make sure that I've got enough flowers for the material I've got going out this weekend. But I now need to cut my foliage. And it's really, really useful to know how quickly you can cut. So I need altogether about 300 stems foliage. And I happen to know that I can cut 400 stems an hour. It's really worth working that out. If you don't know how quickly you can do a job, you don't know how much of a job you can do. And if you can't do it very quickly, practice and speed up, and only take orders to fit the amount you can do. And if it's not enough yet to make you a living, then think, right, how am I going to speed this up to do it more quickly? So that's my first thing I do. I count the orders, make sure I've got enough flowers. If it were the summer, I would have a count of flowers that I was cutting as well. But I've got 300 stems of foliage to cut. So let's go and cut the foliage. And I need to be back in the studio in 3/4 of an hour. Let's get on. And I'm starting with the pussy willow. Now, these pussy willow trees were struck by us only 3 years ago. So this is their first cut. There's not an enormous amount on them, but we have got more, and I have been cutting more. But I just thought I'd show you what they look like a couple of years in, and they're really ready for a bit of a haircut. So here we go. Another way to do things quickly is to cut in blocks of numbers. So I never walk up the field and think, oh, I wonder if there are a bit of these, and shall I have some of these? I only cut if I can cut 50 of something, because it's quicker. So that's 50 stems of pussy willow ready to go in my trolley. Now, normally I would have buckets with water in them. But it is February, winter, and I'm cutting foliage, so I'm not lugging a trolley full of buckets around with me. So I can just chuck these into my trolley. So if I'm cutting 50 stems at a time and I need 300 stems of foliage, then I need 6 varieties from which I can get 50 stems. There you go. So what else am I going to cut? Well, this Griselinia is really lovely to cut. It's a great hedging plant. And so if you're looking for varieties that you might cut from your garden to make a posy for your Valentine, then have a look at your hedging, because look at it. It's got lovely, slightly yellow stems, lovely zingy yellow to the stems, and it's a really fresh green. So although we're still deep in the winter, we have a springy feeling from this Griselinia. So I'm going to have 50 stems of this. Right, let's get on. Now, it's really worth, this is tiny things save so much time. So as I cut these stems, I'm stripping them in the field because it is quicker to strip them so that the leaves just fall on the ground and they'll get mown up eventually, than to have a compost bucket in the studio, which will eventually need emptying. So speed is everything. I'm stripping the stems so they're all clean stems as I go. This is Viburnum Eve Price, which is a nice dark glossy foliage, and all through the winter it has these little pink flowers. So I use it as a foliage plant, but it's real added interest. So I'm having 50 stems of this. Very keen on this lovely variegated, oh, do you want my face or not? Very keen on variegated variegated Euonymous japonica. Goodness me. Lovely foliage at this time of year. Right, I have to use both hands. Oh my gosh, I left the, tripod back in the studio. Hopeless. A winter cutting garden is very much added to by lots of curly-whirly willow, contorted willow, and I'm certainly having 50 stems of this with my mix. This is Brachyglottis, Brachyglottis, and it makes wonderful foliage. So now I've unpacked all the flowers that I've got here, and I've laid them out on my bench so that they're easy to get hold of. Okay, this is where you get really efficient. I have a compost bucket by my right knee. Here's my right knee, because I strip foliage to the right, but I also have a bin on my left, because then I can get any rubbish. There isn't much, but in case there's any rubbish, because you don't want to end up having to do more tidying at the end. You want to keep tidy as you go. So then I've got all my jars in the dishwasher. So 22 jars to come out here. And I've filled the vases that I've got to fill. So I know how many are going in each vase. I've then taken the invoices from my suppliers, who are Flowers by Clowance in Cornwall and Highcroft Nurseries in Cornwall, Paul and James, without whom my business would struggle in the winter. And I have made a list of all the things I'm going to do. I've added up the stems I've got, the stems I've cut, and I've just made sure I've got enough all ready to go. It's really, for me, the most useful thing is to know how many stems are going into each bunch, how many have an exact amount going into each size bunch, have ordered exactly what I need for my project, because then I can swizz through at speed. Do you want to see the material? I'll show you. So here it all is. We have British grown, all locally grown in the UK. No imports here at Common Farm. Alstromeria, narcissi, several different varieties. Little snowflake, oh very pretty. Curly whirly willow, Euonymous japonica, Viburnum Eve Price. A little bit of pink, not too much. I'm not bad. You know, this is, I know it's Valentine's, but you know, it's got to be what I like. Some ranunculus there, more tulips, few snaps, more ranunculus, and more tulips. And then down here we've got ivy, pussy willow, Griselinia, Brachyglottis, and I would call this a go project. So the next thing you need to know is how long each project takes to make. So I know how many bouquets I can make in an hour, for example. And I know how many big ones, middle-sized ones, little ones I can make in an hour. And that means I can judge my time tomorrow in order to make sure I can make 22 posies, 3 kitchen table size bouquets, 3 classics, and 3 big vases, 1 extra one to go to Number One Bruton, and. I need to make all of that tomorrow, plus I've got a meeting at 11 o'clock to talk about some fencing and stuff outside, and I have got lovely Lucy Heath of Capture by Lucy backdrops, CBL backdrops. Recommend very highly, go and have a look. She's coming over with her camera tomorrow afternoon, which will be fun. And when I've made all my bouquets and posies, of course, don't just think, oh, well, you know, then you're finished. You're not finished. You then need to A, clear up, but B, in my case, I need to deliver 22 small posies, 3 large bouquets, and a kitchen table to Number One Bruton, and do a live at 5 on Instagram. This is all tomorrow, the 9th. No, tomorrow's the 10th of February. So if this has been useful, do follow, subscribe, please, to the channel. But also you can press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, on Instagram, where I am Common Farm Flowers, we are having a live at 5 all about time management for flowery fans. You don't have to be a florist or a flower farmer, but anybody who's thinking about doing a flowery project. You might be growing stuff for a wedding, or you might be planning a party and you don't know how long it's going to take. Then we're going to have a live at 5 tomorrow on Instagram. Sorry if you've missed it. If you've missed it, it will be on my Instagram grid afterwards. And if you have found any of the tips and tricks in this session useful, you can always buy me a coffee, the link for which is in the blurb for each of my clips and in my bio. Thanks very much for watching. Shall I make you a quick bouquet? Oh, go on then. I'll make you a quick bouquet. So there is a lovely 50 stem bouquet. It doesn't look enormously colourful at the moment because it's got lots of material in it to come out slowly over a week. As a florist, if it looks really fabulous here, that's all well and dandy, but how long is it going to last for the client? So it's got lots in there, but it'll last over a week because it's got lots to come out. And I think that's really worth pointing out. When you buy a bouquet like this, or you make one, it is really important that you remember this isn't finished. This now needs aquapacking, and it needs boxing up, and it needs a courier to collect it and deliver it elsewhere. So the job is not finished. There's more to it. So that's why you must remember, if you're a florist, you've got to include that in your price. And if you're buying a bouquet or ordering a bouquet, you've got to remember that will be included in your price. It's perfectly fair. If you want to know how to make a bouquet like this one for your Valentine with lovely locally grown flowers, it being Valentine's Day on Monday, I have a demo on Friday afternoon, the 11th of February at 4:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You can join in from anywhere around the world, but you do need to book a place through my website. If you're booking a place through the website, please don't be put off by the fact that it got a funny date thing going on. You will be booked on this Friday's session, and you will be sent the Zoom link to join in if you book a place. And I will show you how to make a gorgeous hand tie like this one, which is a skill you can use all year round. You don't just have to use it for when making Valentines. But if you want to make a lovely learn how to make a lovely hand tie that stands up and all of that stuff, and how to aquapack it, and you know, the whole shebang, then join me on Friday, the 11th of February at 4:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You need to book a place via the website. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.